Welcome to episode 116 of Outside the Circle, a podcast dedicated to new and upcoming country artists, musicians, and songwriters. Today's guest will be Emmet Stevens Jr. We'll get to him in a little bit, but first, I'm Ronnie, and here's Brian.
What's happening, y'all? Yeah, we are in the countdown days to Christmas, right? It's like the week ahead. I guess by the time this comes out, we're like 3 days out. But this is like the most, I guess for a parent, it's like the most stressful, but also the most like devious time you get to be. Like you have that extra little like, you know, Santa's watching. You need me to tell Santa that you don't want any gifts this year? You know, that type of stuff. So it's a little helpful. But no, man, we are ready for it. As far as the whole Hopkins household, we are all back to full health, just about. I think Jamie has a little bit left, but we are back to full health. But saying that, I mean, you did this interview solo. This was during my 3 or 4 week out of not being at the greatest health or dealing with some sort of health issue in the household. But yeah, this was cool, man. How you been?
Yeah, I've been doing pretty good. So we're right now recording on what is this, the 19th, I believe, on Tuesday night. So I'm officially done with work until January. So I'm excited to get some sleep in. You know, as you know, I don't listen to music. I listen to other podcasts, and when you started talking about Christmas, something popped up that I heard today on a different podcast from a guy who has kids, and they were talking about how it seems to be earlier and earlier that kids are losing that belief in Santa. Mm-hmm. And you know, he brought up a really good point, which, I mean, I don't know, I don't have kids, but I guess it's more for you, that he said he was like throwing a fit that he had to do something like Christmas related, and his wife had to remind him, like, we only get like 6 of these, like, you gotta like, it's crazy to think about in that regard. Like, you know, Christmas is every year, but for them, that's six times or whatever that they like truly get like the magic of it. That's it's crazy.
Yeah, it's a crazy thing when you think of it that way. I mean, they're a year apart from each other, even, you know, when you start really diving in, and you know, you'll really only have a little kid for, you know, 8 years, so for like 8 times, or, you know, which is, you know, as a parent, it's terrifying because you want them to stay little for so long and innocent, and no, it's it'll be cool, man. I'm excited for Christmas this year for sure.
Nice. Yeah, it's gonna be a good one, and I'm sure we'll have an episode after Christmas in between. But I personally, the childless member of the podcast, I am counting down the days to the ugly sweater party. So I need to stop talking about this sweater and just show the world. So we need to get to the 30th here so I could get that out in the world.
Yeah, man. It's becoming a bit of a nail biter here. Like, let's see it.
Yeah. But yeah, so for the listeners, you know, you keep mentioning that, you know, you guys went through a little bit of a health kick there. So for the next couple of weeks, I think most people are going to get sick of listening to me. So bear with it. And, you know, I including Emmet, I knocked out a couple while you guys were under the weather. So hopefully everyone could listen to me long enough to get through it. And then we got some good stuff already on the calendar for January. So it's going to be a good year to come into. And it's, you know, 116, and we got plenty more to go.
Yeah, man.
All right, everyone. We're here today with singer-songwriter Emmet Stevens Jr. Welcome to Outside the Circle, Emmet. Thanks for joining us today.
Oh, man, thanks so much for having me. Glad to be here, man.
Yeah, for the listeners, we've been trying this for about 2 months now, I think. So about time we put this together. you're only going to hear my voice. Brian is unfortunately sick with the flu, so everyone will get to deal with me and Emmett. So how you doing? How's everything been?
Dude, it's been good, man. I'm sorry that your buddy couldn't make it, but I'm happy to be here. I'm glad I get to talk to you, and I'm glad we finally, got our schedules aligned so that we can finally do this.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's gonna be good. So we were talking a little bit off camera. Found some similarities, I guess, in some areas that we frequent and all that. I know you're currently in Florida, so we always like to start with the cliche. Tell us a little bit about where you're from and how music was in your household growing up. All that good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm from a little town called Dade City, Florida, where I actually currently am right now. And music with me, and it was always like a big part of my life. Dad was a big country music fan. Mom was kind of like a classic rock girl. So I was listening to like George Jones, George Strait, Hank, growing up with that. And then when mom had the radio, we'd listen to like the Eagles, Led Zeppelin, Guns N' Roses. So, I mean, I got a lot of good music when I was young. And I think that helped a lot with my writing and my music today that we got going on.
Yeah.
But Dade City, man, it was small town. I think we got like 4,000, 5,000 people or something like that. So not crazy small, but definitely not big. Definitely not big.
So so my high school, when I graduated, the entire population of my high school was bigger than your whole town.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Dude, no
I graduated with just under 1,000, and then every year since then it's been pushing like 1,500, and yeah. So
no, I think my graduation we might have had maybe 250, 300 kids. I think it wasn't, yeah. And that was a good year because a lot of people in my class actually ended up graduating. Nice. So, we had a good success rate.
Good. That's important. Yeah. So dad's country, mom's classic rock. You could mix there. Do either of them or anyone in the family play? Like what was your introduction into kind of transitioning into becoming a musician and singer-songwriter?
Yeah. So my dad, he plays a bit of guitar. He knows the chords, he knows the basics, but he always had a guitar around the house. So I'd mess around with that when I was young. But my mom, she actually sings really well. So does my little sister. Dad can't carry a tune in a bucket, but yeah. So my dad's also a pastor as well. So every Sunday when I'm in town, I also lead praise and worship, me and my mom, at church, and then my little sister too, if she's not working. So, man, we've always just like been a very like musical. Music has always been a big part of our family. So that's why I think that's one of the reasons why music's so important to me.
Yeah, and especially being involved in the church and worship and all that. You're definitely constantly surrounded by music, and so. Yeah, no, that's awesome. So I guess kind of take me through when you decided that music was going to be what you're going to focus on and that career path for you.
Yeah. So like I said, I always liked to play. I think I started playing when I was like 12. Like I started like getting into playing guitar. But it was actually, I want to say I'm 25 now. It's probably either 20 or 21. My dad had to have some sort of surgery. So he was going to be out of work for a few months, and he was the sole income of our family at the time. And so while he was out of work for a couple months, I decided to take a break from college, which that break was like 4 years ago now, and I haven't been back since. But in order to make a little bit of more money on the side for me personally, I started gigging at bars around town. And man, I remember like the first gig I did, I think it was like 3 or 4 hours. And I remember I'd played for like $50. And man, I thought that was living because I just had such a good time. But that, I think after playing a few like bar shows, that's when I really like fell in love with it. I was like, oh, this is what I want to do. And then a few years ago, started getting into the whole writing side of music. And man, I fall more and more in love with it every day. And there's nothing else I'd rather be doing.
Yeah. So So you, if I heard you correctly, you put college on hold and it stayed there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're still on hold. We're pretty close to a bachelor's at this point, but we took some time off. We haven't been back since. Maybe one day we'll go back, but
Yeah. And I mean,
who knows?
we're only young once, right? So
Exactly. Like, we got time.
Yeah, if you sounds like you have the support of the family and all that they support the journey. So why not? If this is the time to do it and go after it. And were you doing music in school, or was that just kind of totally separate?
No. So in school, I was doing business. That's typical. I was doing business management. The vaguest of the vagues in college. Because I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I always loved music, and I was like, man, it'd be cool to like do something. But when I finally like took the chance and like started to go out there and play, that's when I really said, oh, this is what I want to do. And then my mind started working like, how do I do this? Like, how do I get into that? And here we're 4 years later, man. We're still going strong.
Nice. All right, cool. So you mentioned songwriting. So let's kind of transition into that. So you're in Florida now. Are you in Nashville at all? Like, are you fully live in Florida, fully live in Nashville, both and forth?
So 1 week every month I go up to Nashville. Okay. So once a month for a whole week I go to Nashville, and we'll either write or record, take some meetings, whatever that may be. And I just jam pack as much as I possibly can into 1 week when I'm up there. I'm actually going up, well, from when we're recording this, a week from today, actually. I'll be up there for a week. And but I mainly, so 75% Florida, 25% Nashville. But yeah, I love going up there, love the people. We got a good like support system down here. We got a great support system up there in Nashville that, I'm starting to get like my group of people that I like to write with, that we like really like vibe well together, work well together. And that's super important. And it's fun. It's fun. We got good people. Yeah.
So that's what I was going to start leaning towards. So, there's the whole co-write thing, like you're saying, you're getting your group of people together. I guess let's start with the cliche of it. So give us a little bit about your process, what that looks like, what you take into the room, things like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I used to do a lot of was, because being 25, and at the time I started writing, I was probably about 23. I felt like I hadn't experienced enough life to maybe write so many different types of songs. So what I would do, I'd create like a story in my head of like different characters and different people, and they'd all have like backstories and everything like that. And I'd almost make like a film in my head and then write a song about the film that I saw in my head. Which, we wrote some pretty good songs. But recently I've been writing a lot of like real stuff that I'm going through, which it's not an easy task to do because you have to be very like self-reflective. Yep. You have to be a very harsh critic of yourself, which no one likes doing. And you just gotta be honest with yourself. We wrote a song recently that might come out soon. I got the mix back for it today, actually. And every line in the song is true. And it's very emotional, taxing song on me, to say the least. But those are some of the best.
Yeah. So we are going to get to a song in a moment, but the song we're going to play is more like, I don't want to say like party-ish, but it's more upbeat, more and then you're then it's good to have that range, I guess is what I'm getting to. You could have fun and then you could tear it up after.
Exactly. It's country music, man. You got to be sad sometimes, right?
Oh, of course. So I always like to ask, and it actually is perfect that, you've been writing for really the last couple of years, really focusing on it. I always love to ask if you remember the first song you wrote and what it was about.
Ooh, I mean, I don't remember how it goes, but I do remember I had this crush on this girl. Obviously, why else do we write songs?
Yeah, of course.
And I remember I had this crush on this girl. I want to say I was like, oh man, I think 13 or something. And Lord knows I can't remember how it goes, but I just remember being so proud of the song. And I'll actually find it one day and I'll send it to you personally, not to everybody, but you can hear it.
Yeah.
And bro, I remember a few years back I went and looked at it and it was so cheesy, corny, just 14-year-old in love type of song. And yeah, man, I was 14 and like head over heels about this girl and just decided, what, I'm gonna show her how I feel and push it into a really crappy song, to be honest.
Well, we all got to start somewhere, right?
It didn't work. It didn't work. Yeah.
Usually those first few don't.
Nah, no, they don't.
Yeah, I remember. So music wise, I play bass. I'm not the singer songwriter. That's Brian. If he was here, he'd talk to you about all that. But I remember the first song that I ever put together, and it was same thing. I was on a cruise. I must have been like 14 or 15. Met some random girl once at the buffet line, and never saw her again. But I wrote that song.
Yeah, man, that's the best though.
Yeah.
You just meet some people, they bring up emotions out of you, and you never know, man.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah. So I'm kind of interested. So I guess I should say I am interested. Obviously, it's why we're here. There's two sides of the songwriting world, I guess. There's the authentic, like you were saying, the real, the emotional, everything's personal.
Yeah.
I also like how you compared it to being a film and then writing what you're seeing. I come from a little bit of a film background myself. So
cool.
While you were saying that, I was like, oh, why didn't I ever think of that? But do you, I guess it's a loaded question. Do you have a preference on which approach you take, or is it kind of just whatever you're feeling in the day?
I'd say it's more along like what I feel in the day. If we, obviously, man, I think the personal stuff I think, especially when it comes to a performance aspect, like when you go out and actually play the song and you can like really relate to what you wrote because like you lived it.
Yeah.
I think that's probably where the more powerful songs come from. But then again, man, music's also about like touching other people. And so like I said, I'm only 25. I haven't experienced like everything there is to experience in life. So sometimes making up these like stories in my head, or I'll make up stories based on what someone else has told me about an experience that they had. And so I'll write a song about that, and that might help the person who the story was originally about.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's a whole different kind of love for the song, because now you're kind of, helping someone else that went through something, whether it be happy or sad or whatever that may be. It's helping them process their emotions. So that's a good question, man. Actually, no one's asked me that. That's good.
Good.
I think the personal ones, if I had to give a little bit of leniency, I think it's towards the personal ones though.
Yeah. Well, we always talk on here about authenticity and how important that is as a listener to be able to, for lack of a better word, bond with the artist. And so I would lean that way myself as well. But I really liked the film side of it that you put up, the spin you put on it there.
Man, I didn't know you were from a film background. That's cool.
Very little. But I, just like you, I didn't know what I was majoring in, and I went through 6 different majors, and 3 of them were film at one point. And no, it's I did want to be in music in film. That was like the end goal, was like song supervisor, like
Oh, cool.
yeah,
Like
but
scoring films and stuff. Like that's what you wanted to do.
not scoring. I wouldn't be able. I mean, maybe I'd be able to fake my way through it, but more like song placement. Like you write a song, I hear it and go, oh, that would be perfect in this scene, and then like
Oh, okay.
yeah. But yeah, clearly that didn't work out too well.
Hey man, we're still young. Like you said, we got time.
Yeah, we definitely do. All right, so I guess let's transition. So that's probably a good time to take our break and put on the song we're going to play for you, since we're talking about songwriting and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and introduce the song, and then we'll talk about it when we come back.
Sweet. All right. Well, y'all, my name is Emmet Stevens Jr., and this is my new single, Done With You. I hope you like it.
Another slamming door. Well, I've been here before. You're fed up, you've had enough, so I take another pour. Get in my truck, crank her up and turn on that radio. That FM station told me everything I needed to know. I got my whiskey glasses, cause that's what Morgan said. Ain't got a drinking problem, ask them boys Midland. Catch me starting over like Chris Stapleton. I'll be getting drunk on a plane, cause that's what Dirks would do. She got the best of me, like my buddy Luke. You need me, check under that neon moon, cause I'll be Brooks and done with you. To be honest, kinda knew it was over from the start. This ain't my first rodeo with a broken heart. You probably think I've been sad since you've been gone, but I couldn't be happier singing my favorite country songs. I got my whiskey glasses, cause that's what Morgan said. Ain't got a drinking problem, ask them boys Midland. Catch me starting over like Chris Stapleton. I'll be getting drunk on a plane, cause that's what Dirks would do. She got the best of me, just like my buddy Luke. You need me, check under that neon moon, cause I'll be Brooks and done with you. So I thought I'd change the key. I got my whiskey glasses, cause that's what Morgan said. Ain't got a drinking problem, ask them boys Midland. Catch me starting over like Chris Stapleton. I'll be getting drunk on a plane, cause that's what Dirks would do. She got the best of me, just like my buddy Luke. You need me, check under that neon moon, cause I'll be Brooks and done with you. I'll be Brooks and done with you. I'll be Brooks and done with you.
All right, so let's talk about Done With You. First and foremost, what was the inspiration behind that song and getting it together and out as your first single?
Yeah, so I wrote Done With You back in November of 2021. And as you mentioned, it is a breakup song. At the time that I wrote it, I was in a relationship. Not now, so maybe I should have known something was up then when I wrote this breakup song. But I don't know, man. I was just kind of in my kitchen and the line just of the chorus, like I got my whiskey glasses, because that's what Morgan said, just popped into my head. Um, I don't know why, I don't know what for, what rhyme or reason, but it just came up. And there's no shortage of like breakup songs in country music. So I didn't just want to write another breakup song, but I think I found a way to like kind of give flowers to people that have written some of the greatest breakup songs and sad songs ever. So, like obviously Whiskey Glasses, Drinking Problem by Midland. Then of course, Neon Moon by Brooks and Dunn is easily one of the saddest country songs of all time. And so I didn't just want to write another breakup song. So obviously, and that's why the song kind of has almost a silver lining kind of in the music, I'd say, because like, yeah, it's sad in the moment, but like, there's always something better. The grass is always greener on the other side. Like, there's always something to look forward to. So the song kind of plays with your emotions a bit, It's sad and happy at the same time, but in the end, everything's going to be all right. And that's what I love about it.
Yeah, I would definitely agree that that's what makes the song so great. It's clever. I love anything that definitely makes you think, and especially with given the respect to all those other artists and songs. And the first time I heard it, I remember thinking I was so focused on the drive of the song that I had to go back and then listen to like the lyrics of it. But the you're right, like you almost want to keep moving forward, but then you're also sad about what's happening. So it definitely plays with the emotions for sure.
And I think that's people in general. Like, it's like everyone wants to keep moving forward, but sometimes there's just stuff you get hung up on, and there's no right or wrong way to deal with, losing someone that was important to you. So there might be some wrong ways to do it. Actually, never mind. I take that back. There are definitely some wrong ways to do it. But there's not one right way to do it. How about that?
Right. Yeah. No, and I also really like the idea that, it kind of doubles as a bit of a rock song, gets you moving, little party feel to it. Like, it's okay to be sad, but move on.
Just move on.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. Also maybe a little telling that you wrote it and now you are where you're at, but that's life.
Yeah.
Right?
It's life, man. It's life.
Yeah. So with Done With You being the debut single, it's been out a couple months now, I believe, month or two, a couple months.
Oh, the day we're recording this, it's actually been out 2 months from. Oh, it's been exactly 2 months since I put it out today, actually.
Nice.
Cool.
So 2 months out in the world, how has the response been? How's all that feedback going?
Dude, it's been so great. So putting the song out, I was super nervous because it's my first song. It's my only song out right now. But with it being the first song I decided to put out, I'd been playing it out for a while, and everywhere I went just got a really, really good reaction from like the crowd, whether it be at like a bar at the time or whether we did it at a concert. And people just really seemed to connect with it. And so, but you're always still a little nervous, a little anxious about putting out like a piece of work. And but the feedback we've been getting has been just incredible. Lots of love, lots of support. And man, my favorite thing is to get videos, whether it's on Instagram or like Snapchat or whatever. Just people send me videos on text of like them and their friends singing along, either like in the car or on the boat, or just at like some like party in the backyard at somebody's house around a fire. And those are the coolest videos to get, because you're a part of somebody's having of a good time, and there's not much more you can ask for it.
Yeah, I mean that's ultimately the goal, right? To like we were saying before, there's only so much time in the day that somebody could devote to music, and the fact that it's yours, and they're then going ahead and assuming they're not just sharing it with you, they're sharing it with more people. And that's continuing the growth. So normally Brian asks about all this because he's the audio engineer by day job and trade and all that.
Yeah.
Being done with you, and we'll talk about a couple more in a second, but maybe also leading back to like leading worship and all that. I guess going into this, what was your like recording studio knowledge? Was it a complete culture shock going into it with this? So
yeah, culture shock entirely. I'd never been in more than a little home studio here at my house, and I still use like GarageBand, and I'll send like demos that I've recorded, just me and my voice on an acoustic guitar out of GarageBand to like my buddies. And that's my idea of what a studio was. But no, we recorded it at Omni Studios in Nashville. Okay. We recorded Done With You, and then we recorded another song that we could talk about later at another time. Who knows? But yeah, no, huge culture shock, so nerve-wracking. I actually had to go back another day and re-record vocals because you could just hear in my voice, just like my confidence was not there that day.
Yeah.
So we had to make 2 trips for vocals. Just because it's so new and it's so different than just playing out. Like recording vocals is so different than just playing a show. But yeah, it was definitely a learning experience. I think I'm good now. I think I got it now.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, so learning experience, is there anything that like really stood out that was like, oh, wow, I was not expecting that, or something that you took away that like, really makes a difference now going forward?
Oh, dude. I think what really got me, it was the first time I'd ever seen studio musicians like working in a live setting. And dude, they're just another like of course I've seen them out like at shows or even just like just around Nashville, you see them playing and stuff. But to see 6 or 7 studio musicians all in a room playing a song that you wrote and like bringing it to life is incredible, but nerve-wracking at the same time because like, oh my gosh, these guys are flawless. And I was like, then you get all up in your head about being flawless, and that's not what it's about. Yeah. Being flawless is not what the songwriting, song-making process is about. But my naive self being in the studio for the first time is not what I was thinking. So I was all in my head, and we went back another day to record vocals, man. It was good. It was fun, but we had to fix some things for sure.
Nice. The flawless, we'll leave that to the engineers and the producers, and that's their job. You just show up and put the work in.
That's it.
So if I'm not mistaken, I believe I read that you're working on getting to a point here with a debut album. Is there anything you can share about the album at this point, or what's that next step there?
Yeah, I got to be careful of what I say or else I'll get in trouble. So let me think. We're very happy with the success that Done With You has had. There's a ton of songs written, a bunch of songs recorded, and like I mentioned earlier, we actually got a mix back today that I'm actually really, really looking forward to. There is new music coming out soon. I can't give any dates yet. Whether that be a single, an EP, an album, that's up in the air. Who knows? But there is new music coming out, and if it's up to me, it'd be out tomorrow. But there's people that are helping us out that do that. There's a proper way to do all this apparently. I'm excited to get new music out there though. And it is coming, I promise. And you might, and bro, and I might just send you some of like the first cuts before, but you just can't show anybody. You can't put it on the podcast. That's the only thing.
Fingers crossed. No, that's
the wrong one.
Lip sealed.
Lip sealed.
Yeah. No, that's so one of my many ventures in life is I studied music as a business a little bit, and I wanted to get into like artist management and
Oh,
like,
so you get it.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I totally understand the
Man,
Excel
so
charts and
you asked that question knowing I couldn't answer it then.
well, I don't know.
Man,
I was hoping, there's a little more down the road, but
you know.
but yeah, no, I totally get that. It's crazy, the timelines,
Yeah.
the Excel charts, yeah,
Everything.
yeah,
A lot of work.
yeah, a lot of work that people don't really necessarily know either. The average listener,
Nope.
they think you record a song and put it out. Not really.
Like I
Not
said, bro,
anymore.
the mix I got back today, I wrote the song at the beginning of October, like literally like October 2nd, I think. And like we just got, it's not mastered or anything like that yet, but we got like what I think is going to be the final mix before like we send it off to be mastered.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been 2 months of nonstop working on this song, and like we're almost done with it.
Yeah.
And that's not even the song that would come out next, if whatever that may be.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop talking before I mess up, actually. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I'm just trying to bait you into. No.
I know, it's working too, dog. It is.
Yeah. All right, so let's move away from the recording and the releasing of music. You keep mentioning live shows, playing out, all that good stuff. You definitely keep yourself busy. You definitely put in the work getting out there. I guess tell me a little bit what people can expect showing up to a live show of yours, and what a night out checking you out would look like.
Expect to have a good time, whether it's a full band show, whether it's a solo acoustic show. Performing music was the first part of the music side that I fell in love with. And I love writing, and writing is one of my favorite things in the world to do. And it's second only to performing the songs out there. So my biggest thing, I've always loved making people make memories. So like, for example, man, like, do you remember what you got for your 12th birthday? Do you remember what you got for your 13th birthday?
Probably suspended, or not suspended, grounded.
Grounded, probably grounded.
Yeah.
No. Do you remember your first concert that you went to?
Yeah.
Yep. So that's my biggest thing, man. No one, like, materialistic stuff is like, it's nice, it looks cool and stuff, but music, for some reason, whatever it is, music really makes us like lock in and remember moments in our lives. And so when someone comes to a show, I want them to remember not necessarily me or my songs, but like I want them to remember how good they felt in the moment, like just singing, dancing, drinking with their friends, and just, living life in the moment, having a good time that they can talk about 30 years down the road when we're all old, gathered in our rocking chairs, just like sitting back and remembering like time well spent with loved ones. And so be prepared to have a good time, high energy. My band is killer. My guys rock. Expect a rock concert like feel with country music. And that's basically what we are.
Yeah, I like that thought process of it being about making the memories and
Yeah.
like you said, sitting years down the road. I've actually been thinking about that a lot lately. What my stories are going to be, and what am I going to pass down and all that stuff. So it's actually perfect timing that you said all that, because that's literally been on my mind for so long. But yeah, no, it is all about the memories. Absolutely. I remember that first concert. I remember the dumbest things about the dumbest concerts. Everybody it's those don't go away.
Every concert you've been to, man, something the same. Like my first concert ever was actually a Billy Joel concert.
Nice.
And so that's like, it kind of sucks for every other concert that I went to, because they're like, Billy Joel was like the first one, and he's amazing. So it's like everyone has to compete with Billy Joel when I go see him, like subconsciously. But.
Yeah, mine. So being from New Jersey, obviously my first concert was Bon Jovi.
Let's go.
With
that's probably worse, man. Shoot.
Well, So the whole show was weird. The opener was local to Florida, ska band Less Than Jake, and then the Goo Goo Dolls, and then Bon Jovi.
Wow.
It was such a weird mix of like artists, but it worked. They were. I still remember it to today. Yeah, but yeah, that was it. So, do you know who Less Than Jake is? They're I think they're Gainesville. Which
I can't say that I do.
They're big in like that like punk ska like area, but they used to have a guy on stage who was literally just a hype man. He was dressed in a clown suit and would just bounce around at this show. Their 20-minute set, I will always remember because this guy fell off the stage and like, there's my memory. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
So you're going to remember for the rest of your life. Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody that was there, I guarantee you they remember that show.
Yeah.
Depending on, if they were taking some other,
there's a good chance most of the arena was, but yeah.
Yeah, man.
All right. So let's kind of start closing down a little bit. 2023 is pretty much over, just about over here.
Yeah.
We could skip the new music side, but anything coming on down the line you want to touch on? Any gigs out there? Anything you got going on?
Yeah, we got I know early next year we've got a bunch of shows lined up. We're gonna be playing down here in Florida. We're gonna be playing a bunch of festivals, just a bunch of concerts down here that I can't say because they haven't been announced yet. But make sure that people follow me. They can follow me at Emmet Stevens Jr. Music on Instagram, Emmet Stevens Jr. on Facebook, all that. Because when the stuff does go live, I'll be sharing a ton of it. So a lot of concerts coming up and new music coming up. So make sure y'all follow so you can keep up to date because 2024 is going to be really, really good. Got a good feeling about it.
Yeah, I would definitely second that. If Done With You as a song and the response to Done With You are any indication, the next single and beyond and album and all that good stuff, I think it's definitely safe to say you're just getting started and there's a lot of good in the future to look for and I'm excited to follow along and see where it takes you.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Emmet, man, it was a pleasure getting to chat with you and let's definitely do this again and we'll take it from there.
Totally, man. Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, when the next whatever it is comes out, let's do this again.
All right, so that was our interview with Emmet Stevens Jr. And Brian, you were definitely missed on this one. We talked a lot of Florida living, a lot of outdoorsy type stuff. So definitely have to circle back with him when the time comes and get some more stories out of him.
Yeah, man, I'm for it. There's a couple of times that I've been down to the Florida area, and it definitely looks like a good fishing spot. But no, man, I liked it. I like the song. I missed my opportunity to say what I thought about the song, so I like to take this opportunity. But man, what a hell of a mix on that song. The drums are so big, it's they sound like cannons going off, and gnarly guitar solo. I'm a sucker for that. But the thing I'm the most sucker for is a key change, and that because I announce it every time it happens. And so yeah, I'm a big fan of this song. It's I'm really excited to see what else Emmet has coming out, and excited to follow along that journey.
Yeah. I mean, you talk about production all the time, and I always talk about the other side of it. And I know I said in the interview to him, but I really enjoy a good, clever wordplay. And I really like the respect, I guess, that he's giving to these other artists, and essentially the ones that are paving the way for not only him but just music in general right now. But he did mention that he's got new music coming soon. Couldn't give us much on it, so hopefully in the new year we start seeing some posts on that. And he's gonna have this being the debut release, he's gonna have a good 2024, and he's got a lot to follow up on if this is the first one.
Yeah, like I said, man, I definitely am a fan and look forward to hearing more from what he has coming out, and definitely want to thank Emmet for coming on Outside the Circle. Thank you, Ronnie, for handling that one. And this is our episode before Christmas, so it gives us an opportunity to make sure everybody has a safe Christmas and really enjoy that time with, family and friends and loved ones. And, I mean, for me and my family, Merry Christmas, Al.
Yeah. Merry Christmas to everyone out there. Happy holidays. And I'm sure we'll see you before the new year, but, be safe until then. And like you said, enjoy the time with your friends, family. We only get to do this so often. So keep it real, and we'll see you in a week.